What is up, you guys? I just got the chance to see the latest Chris Pratt movie, Mercy. This came out a few days ago. I know this video is like probably a week late now from when it released. It released last Friday. I saw it last night with a few buddies of mine, and yeah, I got a few thoughts on it. Like, I went into this movie thinking that it was going to be one of the worst movies of the year, one, if not the worst movie of the year. The premise of it, it just seemed really weird. It was about AI and about how an AI judge, that's pretty much what the plot is, right? You hear AI judge and you just go, I don't know if that's going to be great, right? But it wasn't horrible. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I think that there is some good parts of this movie, but I'm not going to defend it and say that it was a good movie because it is actually not good. I'm not going to give any spoilers here, but let's just jump right into it. So, January releases are always known as some of the worst movies of the year. Like last year, I saw this movie called Flight Risk, and that was about Mark Wahlberg hijacking a plane, and the whole movie took place on a plane. And that movie was really, really rough to watch. And that was my least favorite movie of the year. So honestly, when I saw the trailer for this, for Mercy, it was about Chris Pratt being wrongfully accused in this AI jury, and he has 90 minutes to defend himself, saying that he's not guilty, right? Trying to solve this mystery. It really reminded me of Flight Risk from last year. I was like, oh, this looks rough, but I don't know. Like, I honestly, I don't hate Chris Pratt as an actor. I think he's actually a pretty decent actor. I feel like he's this generation's Arnold, or Stallone. Like, not saying that like he's like obviously this big macho buff man, but he's in like movies that are like action movies that are meant to like shut your brain off type of movies. So I went into this though going like, this movie's just not going to be good, but let's watch it. And I'll say for the first few like maybe 30 minutes of this movie, I was actually very interested. There was this mystery. I was very interested in what this mystery is. It jumps right into it. And if I was to give credit for this film, the best parts about this movie are the visuals, like the cinematography, the way this thing's filmed, because there's always those types of movies, like War of the Worlds from last year, or Searching, where there's like this webcam, and we're in the point of view of going on like a website or a computer screen, right? This one, it's more of like, the way I can describe it is a VR headset, like an Oculus. Like you're in an Oculus, you're Chris Pratt, and he's wearing an Oculus in like this chair and like looking around him, and there's like things coming at him full face and stuff. Rebecca Ferguson's Mog, and I think that was really interesting and really cool. But 30 minutes into the film, you kind of get bored of it. It gets old and repetitive. And I didn't get the chance to see this in 3D, but actually this movie looks like it would be really, really interesting to see in 3D, the way that it's filmed, because these things like rush past you. And I think the story within this is actually really interesting and could have been a lot better, but there are a lot of cracks and plot holes within it, like the villain motive. I think that the motive of the villain is very cool. Like, I was like, wow, that's actually interesting. And personally, I didn't see it coming because I didn't really know what to expect. And I think that's honestly a plus for the film. But I gotta say, those are really my only positives. There's a lot of negatives with this film, which I see a lot of people happening. But I honestly, when it comes to AI, right, when it comes to this artificial intelligence in this film, I don't think this movie is saying that AI is good or promoting AI like pro AI, how a lot of people are saying like, oh, this is AI propaganda. No, it's just having a story with AI in it and saying like, hey, artificial intelligence is here. What if this happened? Like that's how I looked at it, and I was like, oh, okay, it's just using AI as a story. Now I went into this movie saying this was going to be pro AI, but I came out going, oh, it really wasn't. It was more just saying like, hey, artificial intelligence is here, and we need to, what if this happened, like what if this situation happened with artificial intelligence? It's not really saying like, hey, we are AI and we're good, you need to live up to AI. No, it's not saying that. It's just acknowledging that AI exists. But with the AI system, this is where I have a problem. I don't understand. You have 90 minutes to defend yourself, right? Chris Pratt's defending himself. He's got 90 minutes. And he's saying a bunch of things like, oh, enhance that video, enhance this image. Oh, why don't we check over there? If this is like a multi-million dollar, almost a billion probably, dollar software, shouldn't it already know all the details, all the nooks and crannies? I can't really understand that. I feel like that was kind of a little, I don't know, just a very big plot hole. But excluding that, if we're going into like, hey, it can't search for everything, the AI software in this film has like human emotion halfway through, and I don't really care for that. Like it like literally all of a sudden just switches to human. And some movies are good with that, like say like Blade Runner 2049 or Artificial Intelligence from Steven Spielberg. Those are movies about AI having emotion and becoming emotion. This film was more like from like the start of the movie, this AI was not really meant to help you. It was more just to be there as a judge. So once this gets carried on, it just gets worse and worse and worse, and then it starts glitching out and bugging out. And then all of a sudden it starts doing things to help Chris Pratt and stuff. Really didn't make any sense for me. That was kind of a little weird. Also, every time that there would be something really creative or really cool happening on screen, like there would be a really important scene, especially towards like I would say towards the final act, when we get the reveal of like what's going on with Mercy, why Chris Pratt's put in this chair, you would just all of a sudden see Rebecca Ferguson's zoomed in face of her mogging. I'll give you literally a rundown of the scene. That's right, Chris Pratt. I did it. That was the majority of this film. So for every single time that there was something that actually made me interested or made me curious to something, there would be 3 situations where it would be literally what I just did. I think that's honestly what makes the movie kind of boring and bland, because this honestly feels like it would be such a cool idea for like a video game. Honestly, like a video game of this film would be awesome. I'm always pro theater. I'm always, hey, release your movie in theaters. This time, I think if this movie was on streaming and I saw it on Amazon Prime, I would be like, huh, that would be a cool movie to watch, because this movie is a fun time, except it's kind of boring when you're not watching it at home. I feel like if I was to watch this on my computer with my girlfriend and we were eating Chinese food, this would actually be an entertaining watch. And there's a ton of movies that released on streaming that I think would have been much better in theaters, like Frankenstein, Knives Out, or even the latest movie, The Wrecking Crew, which I actually just saw. And that's a movie from this year that no one's talking about. That's on Amazon Prime that I think would have been so good in theaters. I actually had a really good time with that movie. But this movie, Mercy, just is bland and not good. So, was it as bad as War of the Worlds and Flight Risk, and was it as bad as what people say? No. Here are my overall thoughts, and I'm giving it an overall score of a 33 out of 100. That's still really low. I don't think this movie was good at all. Like, I would never rewatch it. I'm probably never going to think about it again. But it's not horrible. There were some scenes and some points in this film where I was actually having a good time, but maybe it's because I watched it with friends and stuff. But still, a 33 out of 100 is not a good score. I didn't really like it that much. I honestly think the only people that would like this are the people that never see movies and go to the movies once, maybe 3 times a year. And they see this movie and they're like, that was peak cinema. So what did you guys think of Mercy? Is this the worst movie you've ever seen? I feel like it's getting a lot of hate and criticisms. I think that it's definitely down there, but it's not the worst. But it's still pretty bad. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments below. With all that being said, if you like this video, make sure you like it. If you really like it, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to see future videos like this, make sure you ring the bell in the description down below. With all that being said, movie nerd out. Peace.